Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, good morning. My name is Sameer Dosal, and I'm speaking from Richmond Hill, Ontario. I would like to thank all of you to join us as we embark on a different journey post-COVID. We have decided this year that we will not be hosting our physical Canada-Pakistan Business Council annual gala. So please consider this as a series and a kickstart to an event which is part of our celebration series. We are simply honored, delighted that we have Minister Mary Ng, Minister of International Trade, Promotion, International Trade, Small Businesses with us. She will actually be talking. She will actually be talking to us as we move forward. She will talk about what the government of Canada has been offering to support the Canadian businesses, and how in this new era, how we will use facilities of virtual seminars and webinars to promote trade. I am personally looking forward to it, and I'm sure that most of you will be. I'm actually equally delighted that and President Ontario Chamber of Commerce will also be a part of our session. We have had the honor of working very closely with the Ontario Chamber of Commerce in the past, and we shall continue to do so. I'm delighted that Professor Wendy Sukier of Diversity Institute, she is also going to be part of our session today, and she will be just giving us a brief of how diversity works and how, because of her personal experience of visiting Pakistan, and she will be conducting directly the Q&A session. The wrap-up session actually we have requested our dear friend Dr. Rossi to do that. Also with us, no other than a very dear friend, a sister, is MP Salma Zahid. Salma Zahid is actually also the chair of the Canada-Pakistan Parliamentary Friendship Group. We've been working with this term. She has taken over as the chair. Folks, I am going to take this opportunity to give you a small brief of what we have done in the past and what we intend to do in the future. In the last several months, we've all been tied in. We've been sitting and operating of our homes. We've been attending webinars. After the successful webinar, my apology, after the most successful gala last year, where Minister Mariam Munsif, was part of our gala, where she announced a $21 million grant, which is now apparently being applicable, and things are happening. I was in Pakistan, and we signed up and we formally launched what we would like to call a amazing bridge between Canada and Pakistan in the field of education. This initiative is called the Canada-Pakistan Council for Education. This was launched in Karachi in December. The history goes way back to 2013, where the then Consul General of Pakistan, Mr. Nafeez Zakaria, who's now the High Commissioner of Pakistan in UK, we initiated a dialogue, and you can see it does take a while to take its fruition. We are in that situation now that we will be able to play that bridge. CPBC will play that bridge in connecting educational institutions in Pakistan and in Canada. I also want to mention that, realizing the situation, that how things have been going, we will have to be a part of this change. We have done things in a different manner in order to be proactive and being a part of this pandemic change. We decided to do a lot of virtual sessions, and folks, I wanted to announce to you, some of you already know, that we signed the first ever Canada-Pakistan virtual MOU between Canada-Pakistan Business Council and Startup Grind. Startup Grind, we attended in November. Myself and our Zishan Ali from Salesforce, we participated. We realized that there were young people. We realized that this gives us our commitment to work with the younger generation. So we decided, and with the support of Tech Hunt Global, and who have provided the technology to sign a virtual MOU. Now that's already in place. Moving forward, as we say, we have already done 2 joint webinars with Startup Grind through the Global Tech Summit of Pakistan. The first one was when we introduced Senator Salma Ataullah Jan from Canada, and we introduced a deputy mayor from the US, being part of a series where we would identify women leadership in this part of the world, coming through from the background of Pakistan. The second session was rather, in fact, really an interactive session, which really did extend to beyond our timelines. Was a session with both the high commissioners. Our Salesforce Zishan was there. We were able to bring on Margot McDonald, and who's actually the senior trade commissioner, and myself. And I just wanted to mention that the team in Pakistan, through the good works of Wendy Gilmore, the High Commissioner, and Margot McDonald, who is after a long time, the government decided that it is high time that we should focus on trade. So we identified and we put in place a full-time senior trade commissioner. Margot McDonald is in the studio. I just wanted to thank her for the support. And moving forward, we will continue as we go. We will try and give out comments as we go forward. I just wanted to talk about. In fact, there are people from and strategic partners who have joined us. We have an amazing relationship with the Mississauga Board of Trade. We have Brad Butt joining us, a whole team of Board of Trade. We have a large representation from the Brampton Board of Trade. Thank you to Badr Shamim, and thank you to Ibrahim Qureshi, representing All Pakistan Business Forum. We are all together in this to help facilitate and to see how we can leverage in this different times, how to see we can expand and enhance trade. Just to let you know, it is 10:40 our time. In the morning at 2:30, I was invited as a special guest for the first inaugural session of the Pakistan-Canada Business Council of the FPCCI, where I was the guest of honor, and we talked about how FPCCI, Canada-Pakistan Business Council, and different high commissions can facilitate moving forward. I am going to complete my remarks. I just wanted to mention one thing, and I would rather that these things be covered by the gurus and the experts of the likes of Minister Mary Ng and Rocco Rossi and Wendy. But I just wanted to mention that 5 years in a row, I remember when I picked up my role as the president, our trade was hovering around, bilateral trade was hovering around $450 million. For the last 5 years, we have exceeded $1 billion each. No way this is acceptable. We can go a lot more. There's tremendous potential. The ICT is a sector which we can work on. Agriculture is a sector we can work on. I will be requesting Minister to talk about bilateral talks and how we can benefit out of that. And at this point in time, I'm going to just step back and I'm going to ask Salma Zahid, who is the Member of Parliament of Scarborough, Agent Court. She's, I think it's Scarborough Centre, my apologies. You can correct me when you come online. She is also the chair of the Canada-Pakistan Parliamentary Friendship Group. I am going to bring her online. But before I do, I just wanted to make an announcement, we supported one of the Canada-Pakistan ICT Forum previously at one of our galas. We are going to be supporting the first ever virtual exhibition that has been organized by them, which is starting on the 4th of August, and which is being endorsed by many organizations. I already saw a video from Wendy, so we will be moving on that forum as we go. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Please stay tuned. I would like to bring on Member of Parliament, Salma Zahid.
Assalamu alaikum, Samir Bhai. Good morning, everyone. It's really an honor and pleasure to join you as we all are trying to navigate through these difficult times and seeing how we can have these discussions and these forums. So this is a great way to connect with each other. And I'm thankful to Honorable Mary Ng, the Minister for Small Business, Export Promotion and International Trade, for joining us today at this important forum and to let us know how we can increase the trade between these two countries. I am the Member of Parliament for Scarborough Centre, and I also chair the Canada-Pakistan Friendship Group, which is a non-partisan friendship group in Ottawa. And in the last mandate, I was co-chairing it with my good friend and colleague, Rob Oliphant. And since November of this year, I am now chairing this. So the aim of the Canada-Pakistan Friendship Group is to increase trade and business between the two countries, and to have better bilateral relations between Canada and Pakistan, and also to strengthen the long-lasting people-to-people relationship between the two countries. I want to thank Samir Dosal, the president of Canada-Pakistan Business Council, and his whole team for being there for the community and helping in increasing the trade and the business between the two countries. And as Samir mentioned in his opening remarks, that the trade between the two countries has exceeded over $1 billion in the last few years. Canada-Pakistan Business Council has been doing a very important work and serving Canadians here over more than 3 decades. So I really look forward to the discussion today. But I would like to introduce to you all the Honorable Mary Ng, the keynote speaker for today. Good morning, Mary.
Hi there, Selma. How are you?
Good.
Wonderful to see you. It's also good to see Samir as well. Nice to see you.
Good to see you. She is the Minister of Small Business, Export Promotion and International Trade, from promoting Canada to the world as a great place to do business, to helping our entrepreneurs and business grow and access new markets. Minister Ng is focused on helping Canadians succeed. She was first elected as the Member of Parliament for the Great Riding of Markham Thornhill in April 2017. Minister Ng was first appointed to the Cabinet in July 2018 as Minister for Small Business and Export Promotion. After being successfully re-elected in November 2019, she became Canada's Minister of Small Business, Export Promotion and International Trade. Prior to serving as the Member of Parliament, she has served as Appointments Director for the Prime Minister and also as the Executive Director for the President of Ryerson University, where she oversaw the creation of world-leading business incubator for tech startups. Throughout the 20 years of public service, she has been devoted to community leaders with a focus on creating jobs, fostering entrepreneurs, and empowering small businesses to innovate and grow. And we have seen, especially in the last 4 months, for all the work which she has done for the businesses here in Canada, as we all try to navigate through these unprecedented times. I'm so proud of all the programs she has introduced during this pandemic, from the wage subsidy to business loans to rent assistance program. All these programs have been able to help the businesses sustain and keep their employees on board. Minister, just last Friday, I was in my riding and I visited one of the local bakeries which prepares gluten-free bread. Mm-hmm. And they are there today because they were able to get wage subsidy and they were able to get the business loan. So thank you for all the work which you have done during these unprecedented times on behalf of all Canadians, and making sure that our businesses are protected because they are the backbone of our economy. So thank you, Minister, for that. And you.
Thank you, Salma. Thank you very much. Minister, the floor is yours. Thank you for being a part of it.
Absolutely.
Hello, we are excited.
Well, I'm very excited to be here as well. And it's terrific to be here with the Canada-Pakistan Business Council. And I want to thank you and the incredible leadership and the work that you, Samir, and the organization has been doing to bring us all together. And Selma, thank you so much for that very kind introduction. And it's great to see you, my good friend. But you know, the thanks, I have to just spend 30 seconds on this, because the thank you really goes to you, Selma. And so many of my colleagues, my MP colleagues, because when this pandemic hit, it really was very hard for businesses and very hard for Canadians. And we as a government immediately took steps to make sure that we were looking after Canadians, because we had a very important piece of work to do as Canadians and as Team Canada. And that was to flatten the curve so that Canadians stay safe in this country and that we really are able to fight against COVID-19. That is the fight. So, Selma, thank you so much, because without your input and you telling me about what's going on with the businesses in your community and how hard it was and what they needed and how they needed to survive through this period. So it really is such a team effort, and I appreciate being colleagues with you. The other person I want to recognize as well, because I know he's here, a good friend and a colleague locally for me in Markham, Councillor Khalid Usman, who is here, and he's such an incredible local leader and has done so much for the Pakistani Canadian community. And Khalid, you and I are a bit partners in crime there locally in Markham, and I couldn't think of a better person to be collaborating with than you. Right there in Markham. So thank you so much for joining us today as well. And again, for everyone who is joining us here from Canada, but also for those of you who are watching from Pakistan, I hope I get this right. I'm going to say Sham Bakhair, which is good evening. If I didn't get it right, it is good evening, everybody. And thank you so much for being with us today. And again, hosting events like this and working with our government to promote trade and investment between Canada and Pakistan, it's really, really important, because the council, your work in helping businesses through this time during COVID-19 is only a part of what you do. Very important, but the work that you traditionally and that you always do is that you help business owners through this, not only through this difficult time, but you bring hard work and determination to bring people together to strengthen the economic relationship between Canada and Pakistan. And we know that our international community needs to be working together even more now than before. This has been an extraordinarily difficult time for the people around the world, and together we're fighting this global pandemic. All of us are working to ensure the health and safety of our people while we are mitigating the economic impact of COVID-19. So the international collaboration is absolutely crucial. COVID-19 has swept the world, and some countries around the world have responded by closing their doors to trade. And Canada's strong belief is that COVID-19 should not and cannot be used as an excuse to stop trading or to turn inward. Canada is a trading country. Pre-COVID-19, trade accounted for nearly 2/3 of the Canadian economy, supporting more than 3.5 million jobs. Canada sees trade as a key in ensuring that our people and our businesses can rebuild and to recover more quickly from COVID-19. It's why I've been working with my international counterparts to eliminate the unnecessary trade barriers and to keep working to ensure that supply chains remain open, particularly supply chains for agricultural products and essential medical goods and supplies. And this work is already, this work will actually help Canada and Pakistan strengthen trade in already well-established sectors, such as in agri-foods. And it's also going to help us grow in emerging sectors, whether they be in ICT, in education, in renewable energy, in forest products. I want to highlight an example. I always think that a good example that shows what's possible is always good. So there's a Toronto company, JCM Power. This business builds and operates renewable energy facilities that foster social, economic, and environmental stability. Its first investment in Asia was a 50 megawatt Hawa wind farm in southeastern Pakistan. JCM is looking to invest in other wind and solar projects in Pakistan, which has historically been an importer of energy, but now it is making alternative homegrown sources such as wind and solar a priority, which will contribute to a more sustainable economy. And as we look to the road ahead, with trade between Canada and Pakistan accounting for nearly $1 billion and growing, and I hope it is on the growing, and let's work together to make sure that we are on that growth. The dynamic market of Pakistan remains a priority for Canada as we work together to help our people recover from COVID-19, but eventually to grow and to benefit from opportunities in both of our countries. And for Canada, the path forward is clear. we must protect the health and safety of our people and our businesses while supporting them economically, including through scaling up and accessing new and vibrant international markets like those in Pakistan. For our small businesses who employ nearly 8 million Canadians, we had to do a number of things for our small businesses during the course of COVID-19, and Selma already alluded to that. But it was very important during this period of COVID-19 that we support our businesses, because we believe that if we do that during this difficult time, they will be in a much better position to recover and to slowly rebuild and restart when it is safe to do so in countries like Canada, in Pakistan, and elsewhere around the world. So some of the things that we did are, it was really listening to businesses and listening to businesses through colleagues like my colleague Salma. We heard that they needed support in keeping their people employed. We heard that they needed support because they needed to pay the bills, so they needed to have access to lending support. So that's why we introduced an interest-free loan of $40,000. It's making sure that we just help keep their costs low. So we did things like, defer, tax payments and that sort of thing to make sure that their costs were stayed low. And we helped them with, with rent relief for those businesses that are the hardest hit. And our businesses, while we help them during this pandemic, it's really important that we believe, because the Canadian economy was strong before this, that helping them means that they will be able to recover more quickly. And we want to find more ways to build on our $1.1 billion export diversification strategy so that we can ensure that important supply chains remain resilient, even through these very uncertain economic times, helping our businesses access the 1.5 billion customers and many opportunities available in the global marketplace through Canada's FTAs around the world, and building on our government's long-standing commitment to help Canadian businesses not only start up here in Canada, but to scale up and certainly to access international markets. And in these unprecedented times, we've been strengthening our close relationship and economic relationship with Pakistan to keep trade open and inclusive. And in fact, over the past months, my colleagues, the Foreign Minister, Minister Champagne, the Development Minister, Minister Gould, have been in touch with Foreign Minister Qureshi, and Prime Minister Trudeau has also spoken to Prime Minister Khan of Pakistan twice during this time. And in those discussions and in today's event, this is what's going to help us build to get through this together. Now is the time for us to focus on ways we can help each other rebuild, creating policies that support our people to fight climate change, and to make sure that everyone, including women entrepreneurs, small business owners, can access the benefits of trade. I'm really looking forward to the conversation and the discussion. That's always the fun part. But those are sort of just some opening remarks to set a bit of context. And I look forward to advancing our work together with the people of both of our countries, and certainly through the Canada-Pakistan Business Council that plays an important role as a bridge so that we can work together on these common goals. So merci beaucoup, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. Most appreciated. I'm delighted that you're here, and please stay on the studio. What we have lined up is somebody who means a lot to us. She's doing a wonderful job, Professor Dr. Wendy Sukier, and I couldn't think of a better person to do this. The little, she can talk about the Diversity Institute, what she does for diversity for our country, and she would lead us in a small Q&A session that we will continue forward. I'm going to ask her to just give a very quick remark, and then we are going to bring you back in for the Q&A session. Thank you very much. Wendy?
Thanks so much.
What a pleasure that we could take you to Pakistan. You had a first-hand experience. Please, the floor is yours. I'm going to step back.
Thanks so much. It's really a pleasure to be here. And, I have to start by echoing the thanks to the minister and her colleagues for the incredible work that they did so quickly to support entrepreneurs across the country, but also with a particular focus on diverse entrepreneurs and women. And of course, we're the beneficiaries of the Women Entrepreneurs strategy. And Samir has been a very good partner in that, in connecting us with women who are in his organization. So lots of synergies. Just to echo, I think what Samir said, that the Diversity Institute I won't talk about. I think people know lots about it, but our focus is really on applying a diversity and inclusion lens to economic development and innovation. And so I was thrilled when I was invited to go to Pakistan to talk about inclusive innovation. And I have to say that for me, it was a real eye-opener. Even though I had worked with the Canada-Pakistan Business Council for many years, and certainly worked with expats in Canada, it really opened my eyes to the potential and, frankly, the missed opportunity that Pakistan represented for Canadian businesses. So some have talked about already the tremendous growth in our trade relationship and the focus on, for example, our core industries: agriculture, forestry, food, mining, ICT, and so on. But what I saw was also amazing opportunities for investments and partnerships around infrastructure development, which is one of Canada's incredible strengths, but not being exported to the extent that it could be. And the other thing that I think a lot of people don't know about is to the extent to which Pakistan's economy is dependent not on coal, but on renewable energy. So if you have commitments around green tech and the green economy, Pakistan is really an ideal trading partner. So huge opportunities. I think I'm delighted to see Rocco Rossi and the OCC partnering on this event, because I think that there is incredible benefit in making sure that Canadian businesses see what opportunities exports to all countries present, but particularly countries like Pakistan, which have, in my view, been overlooked and underestimated. So again, thank you very much, Minister, for joining us. I just wanted to give you an opportunity to talk about your commitment to trade and why trade is so important as part of our economic recovery strategy.
Is that my turn now, Wendy, to answer?
Yes.
It's terrific to see you here.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Thanks so much. And, Wendy, thanks so much for your incredible work as well. And I don't know if Rocco is in the audience, and if he is, it's great that you're here as well. It's the strength of those partnerships that we have. Oh, there you are. That really is going to help our businesses in this recovery. I've already touched on what we needed to do during COVID-19 to keep our businesses to support them. Because my objective was saving as many jobs and as many businesses as possible during this time, so that we can get on this road. But trade is absolutely very important. I mean, my portfolio, and I think my cabinet colleagues will dispute this, but I think I have the best file. But it is both international trade and small businesses, and it's really important for us to create those pathways and that capability and that readiness for businesses, for Canadian businesses, to look at opportunities in the international marketplace. All of those opportunities, Wendy, that you talked about, where our businesses can access those customers, where we may be able to collaborate together in those business-to-business opportunities, is absolutely critical. Canada is a trading country. I mean, just to give you sort of a sort of an order of magnitude here. I mean, we're 37 million people as a country. So we are a big country, but our population is not that big. So if you think about consumers, we are probably about the size of California. So we've always been a trading country, and we build terrific businesses in this country, and over 70% of our trade right now takes place in the North American corridor. So with Canada and Mexico, and that's terrific because getting access to the North American market is really important and really good that we've re-secured the new NAFTA. But Canada also has access to markets around the world, and we should, my view is, and our view is, to help our businesses diversify. And the reason it's so important is because it really adds to job growth. And job growth is important in the country because job growth then means vibrancy, vibrancy in our many communities across the country. And Canada is also so well positioned to trade with the world. I often say that Canada can trade around the world because we all come from around the world. So that is a strength, and let's build on that strength because in this recovery, helping our businesses get access to business is going to be really important. We know that in this recovery, some businesses are going to take longer in doing so because the health and safety of Canadians is so important and it's a priority, which means that it may be slower for some. And we want to be sure that we are ensuring that Canadians stay employed and that we create those new opportunities where there are. And I think this is where the Canada-Pakistan Business Council and the Chamber and many that are here today can play a really important role at that matching between opportunities and the businesses to grow into those opportunities.
I couldn't agree with you more. I just wonder, could you elaborate a bit on where you see the opportunities? What sectors specifically with Pakistan, and what kinds of programs are there in place to help with those?
Yeah, absolutely. We have, of course, there are our traditional sectors that have always traded. I mean, whether it's like agriculture is one where, quite candidly, I mean, I think, some of the producers in like the Canadian Canola Council talked to me just not that long ago and said, listen, we would love to be able to expand into a market like Pakistan, and I know that council had traveled to both Islamabad and Lahore in 2019 to explore and to show their intention to grow their exports. But then, energy, clean energy. I mean, we just use that as an example where there is tremendous opportunity, and the opportunity is there because Pakistan is committed to generating clean energy solutions rather than importing the energy. So I think that is terrific. We are developing several clusters of business growth in the sort of knowledge economy. So whether it is ICT or whether an ICT through AI or the ICT that actually accompanies our traditional sectors like agri-foods is our opportunities. But I think this is where our Trade Commissioner Service that operates on the ground, that works with programs that we have introduced, like the Can Export program. And I just want to sort of mention Can Export for a second here, because we have modified Can Export right now in the context of COVID-19, because typically the application is by businesses or by industry associations to get access to Can Export funding so that they can then do a trade mission. So traveling. Well, we know that you're not going to be doing that kind of traveling, but businesses and entrepreneurs are incredibly entrepreneurial. They're innovative. They are resilient. So we've adapted it so that the industry councils can actually take advantage of some of the Can Export funding. The entrepreneurs can, and use that funding in a way that is sort of adaptable to COVID-19. So I would encourage, I'll get my team to absolutely follow up. But we've got trade commissioners on the ground. Samir had already talked about, about their incredible work. They are Canada's best team internationally. They are our best asset, and I am very committed to making sure that the tools that we have at the federal level, that we use them to the benefit of our businesses, collaborating with others. Governments don't create businesses, but we can create and set the table, working with others so that we help you create those businesses, or sort of create those opportunities so that you could so that you can grow. So that's what I'm committed to doing.
And I think that's a great point. And I know that Rocco and Samir, as well as the Women Entrepreneurship Knowledge Hub, are committed to making sure that entrepreneurs know about the resources that are available to help them adapt. Just final question, and then we'll switch over to Rocco. You mentioned a little bit or referred to, Canada's strength being our diversity. I wonder if you can just comment about how you see the contributions of Pakistani Canadians and ways in which we can harness their deep knowledge of these opportunities to help build economic growth in Canada.
Yeah, very terrific question. It's really important. Those bridges and those people-to-people relationships, I can't underscore how important it is, because it serves as, and the community serves as a bridge to those who may not understand the opportunities, the business opportunities, may not understand how to be successful at doing business in Pakistan. So I think, that the diaspora, the diversity of the community that is here, I happen to represent a riding that has some incredible leaders in there, right? I mean, and so I see it very firsthand, the incredible leadership and that collaboration that takes place to help serve as those bridges, to help interpret or to information share or to build capacity. But I am going to spend a second here about diversity and about inclusiveness. I mean, Canada has made it a point in our trade agreements. We call them, the one we did with CPTPP, the C and the P is comprehensive and progressive, because it is a strength. And Wendy, you will have heard me say this a lot, and you and I collaborate on this front, but I'll just use women entrepreneurs as an example. It's not just the right thing to do. Let me give you the business case here. I lead a strategy. It's a $2 billion strategy to double the number of female entrepreneurs in this country, women-led businesses in this country. So the Prime Minister has given me an ambitious target. But the return on that investment is $150 billion to the Canadian economy. So it makes no sense not to do that. It makes all the sense to do it. But to say that you're doing it is one thing, but to invest to make sure that all of the other supportive elements in removing barriers is the action that we must all take together to make that successful. And then the last thing I would say, in terms of my job as the International Trade Minister, it's supporting and taking the leadership as Canada to ensure that multilateral rules-based trade and those systems work for Canada and work for countries that trade around the world. So the World Trade Organization is incredibly important. Canada leads the effort of through the Ottawa Group with like-minded countries on reform of the WTO, so that multilateral trading system creates the predictability and the rules, together with multilateral partners to ensure that it is successful. And let me give you an example. We know that the appellate system through the WTO is not working right now. And the Ottawa Group, through Canada's leadership, came together in an effort to deal with reforms. That's one part of it. It, of course, is going to need all countries and all member countries to come forward, but our small group is working through and sort of noodling the very sort of practical examples of initiatives we can take on together. And here's something that Pakistan and Canada had actually, this is, and I wanted to end off here because it actually does demonstrate the importance of rules-based trade. And in fact, where Canada and Pakistan have actually done this in these recent months. So the appellate system, the binding dispute system, the appellate system, of course, is not functioning. Through the Ottawa Group, countries like the EU and Canada and Australia and Singapore and many others decided we needed an interim mechanism. An interim mechanism that restores a binding disputes settlement system with the WTO at its core. So we now have what is called an MPIA. So it's called a multi-party interim arrangement at the WTO to deal with disputes that arise, that mirrors that appellate body. And guess what? Pakistan has also signed into the MPIA. So the importance of multilateral rules-based trade centered on those systems that guide and lead and help us facilitate trade is really, really important. I just want to sort of recognize that piece of work internationally, and all it is to say is that there's much more work to do, but we're certainly all doing it, and it's thrilling today to have all of you, because I can't imagine doing this on my own. I certainly don't want to, and it's so much better to be doing with all of you who I count on as colleagues and friends and collaborators. So thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Minister.
Thank you, Wendy. Thank you, Wendy. Thank you, Mary. Really appreciate. I don't think this is enough time, but we try and follow timelines. We will try our best, but I'm going to bring in Rocco to help me wrap up. No other person than Rocco could do this as to put it together, and we hope that we can continue to work together as we move forward. Rocco, the floor is yours, with the presence of our dear Mary Ng. Thank you.
Salam alaikum, Samir Bey. It's a real pleasure to be here. I feel I'm with family because Minister Ng, Wendy, Samir, they're all such incredible partners in everything that we do. And this is a critical topic. And I do first want to do a big shout out to Minister Ng and to the government. Governments are not designed to move quickly, and for good reason. They're actually designed to ensure that things go slowly, because when you're making big policy decisions, you want to make sure that everything is right, and that usually means years of study and process and testing, and COVID didn't allow us to do that. And so the speed at which she and her colleagues, and I'm talking about all parties and all levels of government, because everyone has come to the table. As my dad says, when you encounter a situation where there is no playbook, the best thing that you can have are great players and great teamwork. And Canada has really stepped up to that. But the special shout out to Minister Ng has really been the level to which she and her office has been open to listening, because when you have to move quickly, you need feedback right away, and then you need to act on that feedback to make better policy. And from day one of the crisis, Minister Ng's office, led by Associate Deputy Minister Frances McRae and her Chief of Staff, Jason Easton, have had a daily call every morning without fail, Monday to Friday at 11 o'clock, and it has been phenomenal, the amount of interaction and the ability to move. So hats off. She's really not just talked the talk, but walked the talk, and listened to the talk, which has really been crucial. Look at trade diversity. We've been talking about that in Canada forever. I remember as a young kid first being involved in politics, and we've got to get away from, basically everything going north-south. We talk about the $1 billion with Pakistan. We do that in less than a day with the United States. We do that in less than 2 weeks with the state of Michigan alone. So there is enormous opportunity, and not just in Pakistan, but Pakistan as an English-speaking platform for that entire region. Really a massive opportunity done appropriately, and both ways because of the diaspora. I'm a member of another diaspora, of the Italo-Canadian community, and I know how important those relationships are in understanding culture and getting people navigated through. And speaking of navigation, our crown jewel, and really it doesn't get shouted out enough, is our Trade Commissioner service and our whole diplomatic corps, Ambassador Gilmore and the others. But our trade commissioners are rock stars. They are your concierge. They are there to be leveraged. They want to be leveraged. They want to hear from you, and they do phenomenal work when they get that opportunity. So please everything that can be done, really work with them, and they will help. No question, before the COVID crisis, we already saw the ugly head of protectionism rearing. We see in the world growing trade tensions between China and the United States, and a desire basically on both parts now to push people into one camp or another. Trading countries like Pakistan, like Canada, as Minister Ng has said, have to resist protectionism because we benefit from an open global system. And so it's really, really crucial that we do so, and we'll continue to be open. We certainly at a chamber level have signed agreements with the Lahore Chamber of Commerce, are working with the Canada-Pakistan Business Council on other initiatives to do our part. But at the same time, we also need to celebrate and help our businesses right here. And that includes Canadian Pakistani businesses in Toronto and beyond. And so that's also a reason we've gotten involved, not just with the Government of Canada, but with private sector partners like RBC, CN, Bruce Power, and others to launch an initiative called Canada United, which is really to celebrate local, those local and small businesses that offer opportunities for immigrants to grow, to learn, to prosper in this country, and to be those bridges to other countries. So I encourage all of you to tell your stories. Selma, I want to hear more about that bakery in your riding that does gluten-free. Post about it onto social media, hashtag Canada United, and RBC and the partners will put in 5 cents into a fund that's going to help small businesses recover from this pandemic. Again, we're open. We're looking to increase relationships, increase opportunities in trade between our two countries and beyond. And thanks to all of the participants, all friends, for continuing to do all of that great work. Back to you, Samir, and thank you for including me in this today.
Thank you, Rocco. It's always a pleasure, and the way you present things, it really helps. What you have said is to connect the businesses, organizations like ourselves want to commit. We are committed to moving forward, to work with organizations like the Ontario Chamber of Commerce, organizations and stuff that Wendy does. Of course, with the Ministry of International Trade and Export Promotion, we will continue our relationship with all of you. There are lots of stuff that we need to do, but we will continue this conversation on an ongoing basis at another time. Thank you, Rocco. What I want to do is, if you could just hang on for literally 2 minutes, I want to introduce to you our Vice President, Mr. Nadeem Naqvi. Mr. Nadeem Naqvi would have actually hosted you at the Karachi, Pakistan Stock Exchange if we had been on that trip to Pakistan. We are delighted that he was able to take over this role as the Vice President. He is a financial guru. He's an expert. He ran the most successful, vibrant Pakistan Stock Exchange, the stock exchange in that region. Nadeem bhai, you have literally 2 minutes to help us wrap up. We pride ourselves in a commitment that we will try and start in time and we'll finish off in time. We will have many more opportunities, and moving forward, Nadeem bhai, the floor is yours to just a few comments on your side to just quickly help wrap up in a short manner. And thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Samir. Very kind of you. It's an honor to be here with this forum, and Rocco's remarks, as well as Wendy Sukia's confirmation about diversity are very important. And Salma Sahiba, Adab to you, and thank you very much for being here. It's a great pleasure always. One of the things, and of course, Minister Nig, who's handling the small businesses, it's always a great pleasure to have a forum like this because we have moved on to the new normal. And the new normal is the use of technology and use of technology communication platforms. The only thing I'd like to add to what you have said is that I think all of us need to make some effort to promote the technology platforms for B2B and B2C businesses, especially in the area of women entrepreneurs in Pakistan and in Canada. And there's some very, very good examples. I know of businesses who have created online presence in Canada of importing various kinds of clothing and textile materials. And these started by the home, initially housewives, and now they've become business managers. And similarly, in terms of knowledge, there are very, very good educational and teaching counselors here of Pakistani origin as well as Canadian Pakistani origin who are going into the web-based teaching methodology for Pakistan. And as you said, English is a great plus for Canadians because that is the second language in Pakistan. And so I think the technology platforms give a great, great opportunity for the small businesses, both sides in Canada and in Pakistan, to move forward and put the trade numbers up. With that, I'll just say thanks very much, everybody. And it's a great, great opportunity. And Samir, particularly for organizing this event and being at the forefront of all initiatives, as usual. And I'm very, very sure this is an absolute great beginning, and we can take it from there in terms of specific projects with the help of Minister Neg going forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Nadeem Naqvi. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, all the participants. We are delighted, and we will agree to reconvene at yet another day. So I would like to thank my distinguished panel. I'm really humbled and honored that all you guys decided to bring together. As we embark on this virtual journey, this is a start towards our celebration moving forward. Please stay tuned. We will be talking a lot more in terms of how we can facilitate the likes of Wendy, the likes of Salma and Ikra, and various parliamentarians, various professionals, Federation of Pakistan Chamber of Commerce, the Mississauga Board of Trade, the Brampton Board of Trade, the All Pakistan Business Forum. I can go on, but in the interest of time, I would just thank you all. I have received a request, so all of you can sign off. We have been requested to play the national anthem one more time, which we are going to play the national anthem, which was produced by Pakistani artists. So thank you all. Really appreciate. I would request the team to start the national anthem again as a tribute to our two great nations, Canada and Pakistan.